Welcome to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I am your host, Matt Brandenburg, alongside my beautiful, lovely, spectacular wife. Went with 3 adjectives that time.
Hello.
And we're also joined by our producer. I don't have any adjectives for you today.
No, Adam. She's blushing though. I think she appreciates that.
This is Adam Marino. And you'll also notice we have a special guest with us in studio today. This is Ryan Keirns.
Hold on, did you use the word special as his adjective?
Special because he's awesome, not in any other way.
Oh, because I'm a PE teacher, I guess, right? That makes him special, right?
Yeah. So,
if you can't teach,
right.
teach PE.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, in one of our first episodes, that's what Adam had said. And so
I was quoting a movie,
I know,
to
we
be
know
fair.
Adam.
Right.
I'm excited to hear this story because I know this is the man right here. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ryan Keirns, I hesitate to call you the godfather of pickleball in Fort Wayne.
That's how I view him, though.
But you're not old enough to be a godfather, but you're just kind of like the goat, maybe the
head
goat.
honcho. Head honcho.
Well, the Grubs were here before me.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Okay.
If like the OG,
The OG.
vets are,
Yeah.
they were kind of here first.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ryan's actually the one that introduced me to pickleball. I knew Ryan through work. He's a PE teacher in the same school corporation that I work in. And it was kind of during COVID time that I was getting into pickleball a little bit more. And somehow, I don't know, you might have been on like a professional learning thing or something.
I was doing your Google certification class.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so how did that conversation start? Do you even remember?
He mentioned pickleball, and I was like kind of perked up because it was right at the time.
I think I created like one of our assignments, like a multiple choice thing, like what paddle like certain people play with or something like that. I don't know if that's
awesome.
how you picked up on it.
I didn't remember that exactly, but so I reached out to Ryan and ended up, he said, oh yeah, I sell paddles. And so I bought my first paddle through Ryan. My first paddle that wasn't a wooden yellow handled paddle from Franklin or Walmart or wasn't Franklin.
Or from the Y.
Those are Adam's favorite.
Wilson.
I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, Ryan sold me that first paddle, and I remember in the parking lot at Lions Park saying, give me one tip. Like, I got to beat my buddy. I play singles, and Ryan's like, singles, you got to play more doubles, and it's all about the third shot drop. And you've already heard me say that on the podcast several times.
Yeah.
So Ryan, besides that, is also the director of pickleball at Wildwood, which is where we play quite a bit. Nice tennis and pickleball club here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then a board member with Fort Wayne Pickleball as well. So, and a very good pickleball player. You want to give us your rating, your official rating? Duper.
Well,
let's go Duper.
Okay.
That's the
Duper,
highest.
yeah.
I think Duper, I'm close to 4.9.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Ryan is a very accomplished pickleball player, and we're just excited to have him here to talk some pickleball.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, welcome.
I like to say long-time listener, but
But you could say you've listened to 100% of our episodes,
Right.
which is awesome. So.
Every single one of them.
Right. So we thought we'd start with kind of a fun question. Kind of describe for us your perfect day. So all 24 hours of it. What are you doing? How late are you sleeping in?
That's what I was going to say.
Because we all know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, love Ryan. I love to play early. Ryan does
does
not love
not.
to play early. What are you eating, drinking, other entertainment? Walk us through a day.
I don't know. You hit the nail on the head. I'm not getting up super early. Although if it's a tournament, I'm awake well before my alarm anyway, and I'm wired and ready to go. So getting at a reasonable time. I'm not going to start too much before 9 o'clock if it's my choice, because there's still plenty of time left in the day. Honestly, probably prefer maybe like a guys game in the morning. Just 4 guys, just rotate around, play some games.
I'm not offended.
Am I one of those guys?
Yeah, you'd be
Just say yes. We'll allow it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so
I'm not
you're not.
invited
No,
apparently to
no,
this.
No.
I wouldn't be either.
Then
I'm
probably
at 4.9.
then probably after lunch, probably a family game.
Yeah.
Ideally, my kids would play. They play a little bit, but maybe not as much as I'd like. And I guess if this is my dream or perfect scenario, my dad, who's maybe played twice, and my mom keeps bugging him to play more, because my mom's an avid player now. She plays about 3 times a week.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Get him out. My kids, nieces, nephews, just kind of a fun.
But with the 4 of you, your immediate family, whose teams? You have 2 boys and a wife. So whose teams?
We usually have to rotate around. We usually let Duncan pick. He's the one that says, "Oh yeah, I'll beat Mom," and he loses like 11-1 because she gave him 1 point. But yeah, and So whatever he goes with, and after he probably takes his lumps, then he probably says, okay, I'm playing with Dad this game.
Because he wants to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess my perfect day, there's probably some beverages later on. That's one of the cool things about pickleball is, you can, it's a little more social and,
Now you like Two Toms, right? Haven't you talked about
I'd say Two Toms probably my favorite place in town, but to be honest, I really
You're not too picky.
Like Dot and Line.
You'll drink anywhere.
Like a lot of the new places in town. So it's good that the craft beer scene is coming strong here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. So you definitely have a 2-a-day, not a 3-a-day though. Is there any evening pickleball, or we're done after a couple sessions?
No, we'd probably just chill.
Okay.
Probably just chill in the evening and maybe enjoy some beverages.
Yeah. Any other entertainment? Any movies?
I don't know. Maybe family movie. Watch some sort of Star Wars thing or something we haven't seen or something like that.
Very nice.
So.
Very nice.
So all your boys are into Star Wars too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm in for 100% of that day.
All right.
Yeah, I would be in.
Good.
Well, you're not invited.
Yeah, so
You're not involved at all.
it doesn't matter.
You just want to come and hang out. Just watch. Everywhere you go, Adam.
Well, I could watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
I guess I'd throw in probably too. It would all be outdoor pickleball on a nice sunny day.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Yeah.
I feel like
About 70 degrees.
important detail.
No wind.
No wind.
No wind.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe talk us through your pickleball story. How did you start playing? Where did that all come about? You have a tennis background. You didn't mention in your bio also you are in the Fort Wayne Tennis Hall of Fame as a 2-time champion, but more you said for your coaching.
More for my coaching. Yeah. I don't quite have the titles to be in there on playing alone, but primarily coaching. But I do come from a tennis background and got a similar start as you did. I hadn't really heard of it. All these people I know said, well, I played it in middle school gym class. Like,
right.
I never even heard of the game until like probably 8 years ago or
Is that
something
right?
like that. Yeah, I think I saw it like on the back of the Sunday morning paper. I think I saw people playing a pickleball picture, and then through a friend of mine, Rob Hayworth, whose parents are avid players, he knew Zach Grubbs from church and said, well, this guy I know knows how to play pickleball. He'll teach us how to play. So
Really?
the three of us and Jonathan Botello, who was my assistant coach at the time, former South player, we met him over at Lions Park, and
That's awesome.
Zach kind of basically showed us how to play and schooled us all, because all us tennis guys thought we'd just like hit hard and hit it past him and keep hitting hard and he won, but it was fun. And
so when can you tell us when approximately was this? How many years ago?
You said about 2014.
it might have been like 2014. Yeah, it was maybe like 2014, and then I just kind of it was kind of fun, but at that point I was still like pick up basketball was like my winter sport, and like tennis and then kind of periodically, if we had a snow day, I'd take my kids over to McMillan Community Center, and they have like $1 drop-in, so they'd like just play pick up basketball, and then a couple times I like, what are they doing on that other side?
Yeah.
And I just kind of like play a couple times, and then really January 2016 got kind of I think it was a call or text out of the blue from Josh Grubbs saying, hey, my dad's in town, we need a fourth, will you meet us at Leo and play? And I'm just like, whoa.
Well, the big time.
Then I was like,
He got the call.
And I said, not only that, but I said, all right, I'm bringing my checkbook.
Right.
You have a paddle there, because I'm gonna buy a paddle. I'm kind of done with the pickup basketball on tile floor type thing, getting kind of old for that.
Yeah.
I'm buying a paddle. I'm committing to playing some pickleball, and
That's awesome.
that's kind of when I got started. Like January 2016.
Yeah.
Of course, it was only briefly, and then had to wait till like the weather warmed up again. But popped in and out of McMillan a few times, and some outdoor
That's
play.
awesome. So for context, just for those that don't know, the Grubbs family, who we've referred to a couple times, Rodney Grubbs is the dad, and then Josh and Zach, his sons. They're the ones that run Pickleball Rocks, and that's one of our sponsors on the show as well. So shout out to them. But yeah, they really are the ones that kind of go way back with pickleball, and also very good players. So that I can only imagine getting that call. It's like going to the show, right? Like, it's time. Yeah.
And I had known them a little bit through USTA. We don't think we ever ended up playing against each other, because they were both former college tennis players at Bethel, and Josh coaching at Leo and I coached at Southside at the time. But we weren't on each other's schedule, but periodically cross paths either at invitationals or coaching conventions. So kind of knew each other, but. So yeah, that was kind of the start.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're married, or we talked about that already, and you have 2 boys. Is it a family sport? How often do you guys play together?
I mean, my wife and I try to play about once a week on Sunday. Sunday's kind of our day where we can play because our schedules don't always line up, especially this time of year. It's kind of crazy. But our kids are real into baseball, and the oldest one's into tennis. So pickleball is just kind of something that we ask them to do with us every once in a while. It's not really at the top of their list. It's kind of like, I'd rather play baseball or rather play or shoot hoops in our driveway or play video games or anything other than that. But every once in a while, I mean, we kind of had like a spontaneous thing over Labor Day. We whole family for my parents' 50th anniversary rented a house. So I got 3 younger brothers. They got a bunch of kids. My kids are the 2 oldest of the grandkids, and I didn't pick the house, but it was like 3 or 4 tenths of a mile from some pickleball court. So I didn't pick the house. It just happened. So my mom and my wife and I. And
did anybody believe you that you didn't pick? I'd have gotten blamed for that. Like, so sure you didn't.
So Saturday morning we walked down there, and there's a couple people playing, and we just kind of had our own game because we're like, okay, whatever. And next thing you know, people start just kind of flocking in from wherever, and then I just got on the text, and next thing you know, got my nephews out there, some of my brothers, and we're just all kind of mixing in with them, and it was just
that's so fun. Where was this? Like in Indiana?
Kind of Michiana. It was maybe a stone's throw into Michigan. You just didn't even realize you hit Michigan. Like you're just kind of just a little north of LaPorte, and voila, you're in Michigan.
Can you text Matt that house?
I'm going to need that address.
It was a pretty sweet house.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
So there's 9 adults, 9 kids, and we all had our own bedrooms and
That's
bathrooms
amazing.
and stuff. It was nice.
That sounds really fun.
Talk a little bit more about playing with Emily. How does that go? You have any
only because we have
we need some help.
Huge issues.
No, it's fun. It's fun, and at the same time, it can be challenging just because.
Are you being political right now?
Do you criticize everything she does?
Not outwardly.
See,
so you're a little older, a little wiser than me. Learn to kind of keep
it is tricky too because at the same time she's like, well, I want advice, but I have to
just not from you.
I have to make sure I phrase it the right way so it sounds more like advice rather than criticism, and also at times it's like I'm probably giving her too much information and just information overload. But I guess the one thing we have is that we're kind of at different spots, so there's probably not going to be the temptation ever to have to play in a tournament together. So we could probably limit it to rec play, and rec play is what it is. And you guys know that I'm probably, I want to win rec games, but I'm the last person to get too worked up about whether you win or lose a rec game. It's more for practice and trying out shots and getting better. So
see, and I was gonna say too, when I play rec play with you, I don't feel like you really ever say much. Like you're very quiet.
Yeah, it's one of your best traits, I would say. Is
he's not talking.
He's got a great balance of being competitive, but knowing the time and place.
Not being a jerk about it.
Yeah.
I could learn something from him.
Me too. I could learn a thing.
So do you coach more your wife though than your random pickleball partner on rec play?
Yeah, for sure. But but part of that is like I don't think my random person in rec play says, "Hey Ryan, tell me what I'm doing wrong," or like hypothetically, if they said I've been having trouble with like my backhand dink, could
you would?
I would, but I don't. And even though I know a lot of the people pretty well that we play rec games with, I don't know unless it's something like really glaring. I feel bad like saying it because a lot of it might be more opinion rather than fact anyway, or just a stylistic choice on my part.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I definitely want to get into kind of talking about you as an instructor. We're going to take a quick break though, but when we come back, I want to hear more just kind of about your philosophies and all that. So we'll be right back with more from Ryan Keirns.
Between the two of us, we've had 7 orthopedic surgeries, 4 cortisone injections, and countless injuries that have required physical therapy, and we are only in our early 40s. So where do we go when we need physical therapy? Indiana Physical Therapy.
That's right, Abby. With 22 locations in Fort Wayne and the surrounding counties, Indiana Physical Therapy will be there to get you back to work, play, and life.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
Visit indianapt.com for more information. All right, welcome back. We are speaking with Ryan Keirns today. the GOAT. Is that what we're gonna go with that? The GOAT of Fort Wayne
Yeah,
pickleball.
he's not the OG.
Not the OG, but yeah. Anyways, so Ryan, we were talking a little bit about before the break about you as an instructor. Kind of talk to us more about what are the things when you are working with a client, working with somebody who's new to the game, or even further along. What are some things you really like to focus on?
It probably varies if they're a beginner. Just a lot of the basic rules. The kitchen line seems to trip people up. You get, people, even people with tennis background, I think especially like to step in the kitchen because all their life they've been taught close the net, close the net, close the net, and you step in the kitchen or
in their momentum a lot of times.
And the momentum too, and just misinformation. You get people, well, I mean, I can't go in the kitchen like ever, and I'm like, no, it's not hot lava. You can go in the kitchen. You just do I have to wait till it bounces? No, you just can't volley the ball in the kitchen. If you think the ball's going in the kitchen, you can go in there and anticipate.
Yeah.
You just can't volley in the kitchen. So
I remember when I first started playing, one of my buddies I played with swore that the kitchen line was like almost like the goal line in football, like an invisible plane that you couldn't cross.
Your paddle couldn't even
I was
cross.
like, man, that would be so hard to call people.
No kidding.
Like, I don't think so. And we went back and we were like reading the rules, and
I remember that.
glad we figured that out.
That gives short people an advantage, though.
Oh yeah,
big time.
yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah.
So with beginners, a lot of it's just the rules and kind of getting used to this ball doesn't bounce like a tennis ball. It's and just how the ball comes off the paddle and just to be consistent so that they can at least dink back and forth and kind of get a feel for how it's going. With a lot of the intermediate players, if they've come to me, then it's more they might have a specific thing that they want to work on. But as far as I kind of preach what I do, and I'm more about consistency, and trying to get better, I guess, with drives and some of the speed up situations. But I just try to stick to my strengths, and that was kind of my strength in tennis. I didn't have a big serve or big forehand to get easy points. I had to grind out points. So it was just a matter of consistency and mixing things up, short, deep, mixing some lobs, moving people around, just trying to wear them down type of thing. So
that's good. Your background, we mentioned already, is in PE. The fancy word for that is kinesiology.
Yeah,
so we like
kinesiologist.
Right. Yeah, there
You let him say it.
Yeah. And Abby talks about this a lot as well, being a physical therapist, having that background as well. Like, where do you see that factoring in, or has that helped you, do you feel like, in just like your pickleball?
I think my tennis background probably helped a little bit more in terms of the kinetic chain and just certain things like that. For instance, like on your serve, how it really maybe initiates more from your feet and then kind of up your legs and then to your trunk and then arm. It's not just like stand here like a robot and whip your arm, and even with the arm, it kind of starts more in the shoulder and then down there, just how everything's just got to work in unison. And I mean, especially
isn't there a song? There's a kid's song like
the
hip bones connect.
Yeah,
like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
But for a lot of for a lot of the bigger swings like that, there's a lot of moving parts and it all kind of got to work together. I mean, a lot of times with dinking, it might be a little more compact.
Yeah.
Well, and just to your point, that's really in all sports. If you think about basketball, where's your power come from when you're shooting? Your legs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not just shooting with just your arms.
Right.
You're using the entire kinetic chain. I love that you use that because the kinetic chain is very important.
PE teachers are pretty smart.
Brilliant.
No matter what some people say.
Jack Black.
Right.
Like Jack Black. Not Adam. Adam would never say that.
No.
Unless he was trying to be funny.
Not to anyone's face.
Right.
Just on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ryan, you talk maybe about your game being more consistent. What other aspects, like how would you describe your game in general to the listeners? You're not a banger.
No, I'm not a banger. I'm consistent. I guess more, definitely the soft game, and that's more the touch. But I like to hit angles. I like to hit drop shots. Obviously, if I get an overhead, I'll hit an overhead. But just try to find a weakness with the team and isolate it, or kind of move the team around to open up a spot that where I can't hit the ball hard or can't hit it through, or if I find a weakness, somebody's forehand, somebody's backhand, if it's a tournament, really isolate that and try and break it down.
Yeah, I found that with a lot of players like you that have the tennis background. You're very heady. Your strategy is on point, where you see things on the court that is someone like me that does not have the tennis background. I'm still learning that kind of stuff, and sometimes I'm so fascinated with. You'll talk about when you're in the dink game and you see that going back and forth. You're looking for certain things to be able to set up that next point. It's almost like a chess match where you're looking 2 or 3 steps ahead, and those of us that are still in the process of learning some of those things, it's really cool to see, and that's why I felt like I've learned a lot from you as well.
Well, I think it's like a lot of sports that the more experience you have, the slower the game moves for you, and that's why sometimes coaching or tips might be a little tricky, and that's probably why sometimes it's tricky for my wife to receive it, because I'm looking at one speed, maybe she's moving at a different speed, and she's got a different focus. Like, hey, I'm just trying to get that shot back. I really didn't have a choice, where to put it, and you're telling me to put it here, and I'm like, oh yeah,
right.
You're probably right. You probably really didn't have that option based on where you were, and so
yeah. So that's a great thing about pickleball is you can always get better, right? And so there's still things you're working on. What's maybe 1 or 2 things that you're trying to improve in currently?
I like to work on my drive, and I've tried to work on a little bit of a two-handed backhand. Just that's how I hit my tennis backhand, with 2 hands. If I'm driving the ball, I slice with one, so I'm trying to work on hitting 2 hands.
Is that power or control or what? Why?
Probably a little each, but more power. And I can create a little more topspin having the left hand on my paddle coming over it, and also it would help in singles too, to give me maybe a viable option to hit a passing shot by somebody rather than dink it and getting like a cat and mouse type game.
Mm-hmm. The other one, I remember you just recently playing a game with you. You got kind of frustrated yourself with like a cross court dink on your forehand side, and you kind of said, you don't have that shot yet, Ryan, or you said something along those lines that you were kind of trying to develop. That almost made me think that must be something you're kind of working on as well. Yeah,
I'm changing my grip a little bit more than I normally do. I normally stay continental. Mm-hmm. It's more tennis term, I guess. And then if I'm driving,
but that's a neutral grip.
Yeah, it's neutral, like your shake hands or your hammer grip or whatever you want to talk. But coming around a little bit more, just trying to get a little more side spin and top spin on it, so it has a little bit more movement to it.
So are you changing your grip like mid-point, or are you talking about changing your grip?
No, like mid-point as the ball's coming type of thing. Which
did
actually,
you do that in tennis as well?
Tennis, you're constantly changing grip.
Okay.
Yeah,
you have more time, right?
Yeah, tennis, you have a lot. Yeah, that's key. Yeah, you have a lot more time. You have a lot more time in tennis to change your grip, and sometimes it's tough. Like for instance, I don't change a lot unless maybe a ball's sitting up to my forehand, and then I'll slide it to like semi-western or whatever, so I can drive it and put some spin on it. Or if I have more time on my backhand, I might turn it so I can get a little more cut to it. But it's not always recommended, especially at the kitchen line, just because there's just so little reaction time. So a lot of it's on a dink situation where I have maybe a little bit more time, and or like hitting a forehand ATP, I do change my grip a little bit more over there to get a little more
top spin on it.
And
whip
like
it around.
A little more of a hook to it. Yeah,
the hook.
That's interesting.
What are your long-term, even short-term goals for pickleball? In that open-ended question where, maybe both as a player, as a competitor, but also where you'd like to, see the game go, or teaching, anything. What are, when you think about where you want to be with pickleball in the next 5-10 years, what does that look like?
Well, as a player, I'll be eligible to play some senior pro stuff next year, because that'll be my 50-year-old pickleball year. So
congratulations.
I may try some of those. I'm probably not quite ready for big time yet, but I might try some events there. Eventually I would like to play possibly some senior pro, but then again, by the time I get there, maybe all these retired tennis guys will be already senior pros and kick me further down the food chain.
But it definitely seems like there's a window there.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, it's kind of my teaching retirement gig to do something, maybe a larger role at Wildwood Racket Club with pickleball, or just play more.
Yeah.
But as far as like here locally, it just help keep growing it and introducing more people to it. Just the more people in general that play, just the better it is for our community, and especially if you can find some potentially higher level people, it just kind of builds up.
We push each other to get better.
Push each other to get better, and that's kind of nice that if you can find some people to
that's good
dump
stuff.
tennis and play pickleball, or they're just good athletes. I mean, I do say tennis a lot, but I mean, the truth is you don't. It's not tennis. I mean, I think it helps to have a sports background, though.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, whether it's golf, baseball, hockey,
ping pong.
Yep. Oh no, seriously.
We've talked about that before.
I mean, probably after tennis, ping pong might be next. I mean, for sure.
Guys who have played table tennis can put that
insane.
whip and spin on the ball. This guy
I loved doing that. We could talk about that all day.
All right. I do have a couple more questions. We're going to take one more break, but we're going to have a little fun when we come back with Ryan Keirns. Thanks for being here, Ryan.
All right. Thanks.
Are you new to the game of pickleball and looking to learn the basics? Or maybe you're an experienced player who wants to take your game to the next level? Both Matt and I would love to help.
That's right, Abby. We are both Level 2 IPT-PA certified instructors and would love working with you, either giving you private lessons, group lessons, or hosting a clinic. We also offer unique video coaching utilizing the latest in drone technology. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok by searching Hoosier Pickleball, or email us at HoosierPickleball@gmail.com. Also, check out the show notes for all the links to our social channels. All right, we are back with Ryan Keirns in studio here on One More Game. We actually just have a couple more questions, but let's talk about us a little bit.
I'm terrified.
Ryan, you know us pretty well. We play quite a bit together. How would you assess our games for the listeners? Kind of give us a quick rundown, maybe some things that we do well, things we can do better. As a team, individually, you name it.
Well, I would think if you weren't married, you'd almost be the perfect combination, because then you take that out of the equation. Because at least what I've noticed lately is that Abby's a very steady right side player that can get a lot of balls back, and when the opportunity presents itself, can put away enough balls. And you're the ultra aggressive left side player.
That was actually kind of kind.
Hit anything that moves in the middle, type of thing. And
yes.
As long as it's not your partner's head, and
it has been.
And and she moves really well too. So if you are gonna go and crash and burn to her side of the court, she could recover and get it back. But like I said, there's also the interpersonal element that
can be challenging.
Can be challenging. Yeah, like I said, they just kind of listen to what I say, not how I say it, type of thing, or listen to what I say, not who it's coming from. Maybe.
Yeah. So you're gracious enough to come in here and do this, but what would be one thing that you would tell me that I should work on? Nothing. Perfect.
Well, no,
being nice to your wife.
He's got so many he's trying to think of.
No, it's kind of tricky. So while the ultra aggression's pretty good, there are times you probably just need to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Stay over there.
Amen.
It's hard to find that balance.
And I would say big picture, probably play. And I think we've talked about this. Play, get them more comfortable on the right side.
Right.
Just you play a lot of left side, which obviously is a staple of mixed doubles, but get more comfortable on the right side. It help with your kind of awareness on how close you are to that sideline and what you're giving them to shoot at.
Absolutely, it's good. Thanks. Anything else for Abby? Can I give you a list? Maybe she'll listen.
Give you a list?
You're gonna text him the list,
right? I want to give you the list to tell Abby.
I get. Since you should put it out there, even though I said earlier, I don't a lot of times like to just give unsolicited, whatever.
We're here.
This
for
is
this.
solicited.
We're here for this.
Even if it's my solicitation.
I would say not necessarily in a slamming speed up sort of way, but on some higher balls, maybe get a little more pushy, aggressive with some of your dinks.
Yeah.
I think your game's good enough now to be able to hit a few of those to where you're not going to pop it up, and you're you're going to be able to keep it low enough.
Yeah.
You're beyond the I want to keep it in play type thing, and I think on some of the higher balls could probably be a little more aggressive with the dink. Not like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not speeding it up, not going crazy, but just see if you can't make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
Very fair. I like it. All right. Well, we're going to conclude today's.
Wait, were we going to tell him what we think he should improve on?
Sure, fire away. No,
I'm just kidding.
No, all's
I have
fair. All's
nothing.
fair. Fire away. I mean,
I have nothing.
No, I was gonna say fire away.
No, I would say, I mean, and I've seen him working on it a ton lately, is that two-handed backhand's getting lethal. Actually, in warm-ups, I think a week or two ago, he hit like 10 just beautiful two-handed backhands.
Ooh, nice.
Just drilled him over the net. And then we played for a couple hours, and I didn't see it one time. I'm like, pull it out, try it. That's hard. It is hard to translate things from practice to play.
Yeah.
sometimes, so.
In a match, I just gotta get, even if it's a rec play, I
know.
I don't want to dump the ball in the middle of the net.
Yeah.
know.
You just
more,
gotta
more,
do
for,
it.
more for letting my
Yeah.
partner down. Like,
Yeah.
like Ryan, you didn't really need to dump the ball in the middle of the net just so you could work on your two-handed backhand.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Saturday morning, though. You might as well.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so the game we're going to end with today, since we're still kind of in that Halloween type season,
We just finished it not that long ago.
right?
Sure,
not that long
sure.
ago. So I came up with this game. Maybe it's a little sadistic. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So this game is called Pickleball Pro or Serial Killer.
Okay.
That was amazing.
All right. So I'm going to give you a name, Ryan, and
Okay.
we're going to test to see how well you know your serial killers or pickleball pros. I'm guessing you would know more pickleball pros than serial killers.
Can
So-
I like phone a friend to Janine or something like that
Seriously,
if,
right?
if I get stuck?
Right.
Oh, yeah,
On
for
what?
sure.
The serial killer or the pro?
Probably pickleball pro.
Okay.
She knows her pickleball pros.
I was gonna say I know my serial killers, and I don't know very
Yeah.
many of these.
Oh, yeah, I went a little off the grid. I wasn't going to
went
give
not
like
American,
I went,
right?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go
Like
like
Jack the Ripper is not on here.
too easy. Yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's start. First one. I have Pablo Tellez.
He's definitely a pickleball player.
Way to go.
He's left-handed, by the way, and
Nice.
I got a chance to hit with him at the MLP.
Nice. I didn't even know that.
You knocked that one out of the park.
That's awesome.
That was
He is.
amazing.
Yep. He's ranked 16th in the world. So that was a little bit of a softball to start you off
Yeah,
with.
I love how you give this name and he's like, I
Yeah.
played with him.
He's left-handed.
He's probably the exception to the rule. I got an opportunity where he was with two of his teammates on a court warming up for the MLP event that was back a bit in Columbus, and I'm looking around. I'm sitting right there. I got my paddle. I'm like, hey, could I just hit with you for a little bit till your fourth comes? He's like, sure. So I just
That's
got
so
I
fun.
just got to dink with him for about 5 minutes until JW's mom kind of kicked me off. She was, so she's
Was
a little
she
bit
playing
better
with
than me.
him?
She just happened to be there because both their
Oh.
kids were playing the event, and
Oh,
she's probably a more highly regarded practice partner than I am. So yeah,
JW's mom.
There
Yep.
you go.
Julie,
All right.
Julie Johnson.
Okay.
Nice. So you're 1 for 1. Way to
Way to go.
Number 2, Will Burke. Will Burke. Pickleball pro.
I'm gonna just guess serial killer. I could be wrong, but
2 for 2.
Dude.
He's Irish too, for what it's worth. I don't know why I put their
Why
nationalities
did you
on here.
put their nationalities?
All right, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ed Gein. My apologies if I butchered
how do you spell the last name?
Gein.
I'd say gain.
Gain? Okay.
G-E-I-N.
Phonetically, that feels like gain.
I'm gonna guess serial killer.
3 for 3.
This is no fun anymore. Let's
No,
quit.
he's doing great. I'm proud of him. 3 for 3. He was an American serial killer. Let's go. You want to pick one, Abby?
Let's go with a female,
Mm.
Sarah Burr.
I think she's a pickleball player.
And you would be correct.
So good. So good.
Is this the only female on this list? Oh, there's a. Hold on. I'm just gonna read the other female.
Yeah.
There's only
Go-
2 females on
Go
here.
with the other female.
Go.
Eileen Weirnos.
How do you spell the last name?
Wuernos.
I'm gonna say serial killer.
She is a serial killer.
An American serial
An
killer.
American.
Yeah.
The only woman serial killer that was on my list. You kind of ruined it, though, because you're like, oh, that's the only woman. Oh, wait, I see one. I don't know.
Well,
I feel like that kind of
it could have been another pickleball player.
Right.
There's only 2 women on this list.
All right. 6 for 6, I believe that is. We're halfway done. David Berkowitz.
Serial killer.
Serial killer. Another American serial killer. So good, Ryan Keirns. Will Sobek.
He's a pickleball player.
Okay.
And so is his dad, Rusty.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
okay.
Yeah, probably hung out with him too.
No, I
It's a
didn't.
9 for 9 then, because that's a bonus.
Goes the bonus, Rusty.
Yeah.
I think they have a Sobek Academy in Florida.
Okay. Very
Look
nice.
at our
Dear
ignorance. We're
Lord,
just the idiots
what?
here.
Yeah.
We're like
maybe,
stooges.
Maybe I knew that. Maybe I put a couple on here. Maybe I did my research and even knew he hit around with
I don't think-
Pablo Tellez.
I don't think you did.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
no, there's no way.
No. All right. How about this one? Marcel Petoit.
What?
How do you spell the last name?
Did I butcher it?
P-twait. That's how you spell it.
Petoit?
Petoit.
But is it?
No, it can't be.
We
Try-
come
try
from
again.
France.
Petoit.
He is French.
Potato.
I'm gonna guess serial
He
killer.
is a serial
Yeah.
killer. Oh, are we out of them? I don't even know. All right, here's another one.
No, we're not.
You're not gonna
All right.
stump him.
Go ahead. I think we've got a couple chances.
Javed Iqbal.
Iqbal.
I'm gonna guess serial killer.
Yep.
He's a Pakistani. So like, serial-
Pakistani serial killer. Never heard of that before.
Hold on, I got one.
Okay, go.
Tyson McGuffin.
Softball.
Yeah, pickleball player.
Okay.
I won't give you all the rundown on him, but I
He
will
has a
add he's got
mustache?
some of the best videos.
He does.
If
he
you want
does.
to learn pickleball tips, especially if you're in the intermediate level.
Great
Good,
teacher.
and K-Mac's really good too.
Yeah.
Also, hair.
Yeah.
He has great hair.
Yeah. And I'm
And
pretty
teeth.
sure Abby.
Abby's blushing. You have
And
a crush
teeth.
on him?
Yeah.
No, I'm still sweaty from laughing so hard at the French guy. I get sweaty when I laugh.
I will say, I think Abby's maybe trying to have me
Kinda.
channel a Tyson. Like she cuts my hair and she keeps on leaving a little bit more back
Okay,
here.
I
And I
wondered.
think she's trying to get me to
Kinda.
Tyson status.
Okay,
And
so it does look kind of cool, but I'm like, well, how old is this guy?
Right.
What are we doing here?
I think it's.
I kind of
it's
wonder.
her
It
trying
does
to-
look cool, but
Okay.
Right?
Thanks.
I do a good job.
no, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have one more chance to stump him,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that is Marshall Brown.
I'm gonna guess serial killer.
We got him
Oh,
on the last
all right.
one.
So give me some facts about Marshall Brown then.
man.
He's 48th. There's your fact. He's 48. That was the lowest ranked of all of the pickleball.
Gotcha.
You were
pros.
waiting. You were waiting with that one.
I was
You
so ready.
figured you had it.
All right. You know what?
Sorry, Marshall. I haven't heard of you, bud.
Yeah.
Marshall's probably not listening.
Hey.
He's gonna look for you at the next MLP and hit around with you and hit you on some body bags or something.
Speaking of serial killers.
Yeah, it's gonna there you go. Look at
Whoa.
Well, full circle.
That was amazing.
On
Way
the
to
One
go.
More Game podcast.
That's right.
That's
All
what
right,
we do.
we are gonna wrap it up right there. Ryan, thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you. Learn some more about you. Learn some more about serial killers
It was delightful.
and some French pronunciation. It's a great episode.
Speaking of serial killers,
Yes.
Two Tom's got his serial killer series out with his beer releases. But
Does
cereal
he
with
name
cereal with CEREAL.
Oh, like Fruit
Because
Loops.
like some of them do have like trick cereal. There's some like fruity cereal in some of them. Yeah.
Ooh.
And there's like a Count Chocula. And
Is there a Lucky Charms?
there was
Sign me
before.
up.
There
All right.
was
We need to
before.
get them as a sponsor on the One More Game
Two
podcast.
Toms? Are you listening?
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thanks for inviting.
As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number one More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.